Hi, Mario. Oops.
Hello.
Yeah, there we are. It's 8 o'clock tonight, right? Hello? God. You hear me now?
Yeah,
Okay, good. They said it's 8 o'clock, right, tonight?
it should be. That's what learning said.
All right. Let's see what happens. No, that's not good.
You know, yesterday, Alan Genauer was for half an hour before we started, and I got 2 recordings. So I put that one online,
Yeah.
and I erased the other one. Shoot. It's 0, nothing. Not even
Zero?
Alan shows up.
Okay, we're on Mem Aleph. Mem Aleph, Mishnah. Ha'omer pititi es bito shel ploni. You know, there's a principle that if a person, that when you damage something, so you value the damage, you have to pay, that's called monetary damages. Then sometimes Chazal or the Torah mandates knas. Knas is extrajudicial payment. It's a fine, has nothing to do with what you damaged. Now, hamoide b'knas potter. Somebody who admits to a crime and he doesn't have to go to Beis Din with Eidim, there's a benefit. You don't have to pay the knas. So it motivates people to admit their crime. So ha'omer pititi et bito shel ploni. Person says, I seduced the daughter of such and such person. Mishalim boishet subgam al piatzmo. He pays the embarrassment of the gam, but vein mishalim knas, because he's a moide. He admitted it. In a similar vein, ha'omer ganafti. Right, when a ganaf steals, so sometimes you pay kefil, that's double, or if you steal a sheep and a cow and you shech them, you have to pay 4 or 5. Those are knasim. So mishalim esaken al piatzmo ve'mishalim teshlumei kefil v'teshlumei arba v'chamisha. Same principle, because moide b'knas potter. Hemis shoiri es ploini. My shore killed Chaim Yankel. Oh, shor shel ploni, or he killed by goring another ox. Harezem shalom al piatzmo. He pays koifer, because there's no koifer is mammon, is not kefil. It's not knas. So that he pays on admission. Hemis shori avdo shel ploni. If a person admits and says, my shore killed that person's eved, so the shloshim sela is all a knas. So you don't have to pay that. Ein mishalim al piatzmo. Ze haklal. Kol mishalim yeser al mashi hizik. Normally, judicially, you pay damages what you damaged. You damage something that's worth $100, you pay $100. If you have to pay more than that, that's knas. And eino mishalim al piatzmo, the knas is not paid or payable if he admitted the crime. Freik the Gemara v'lisni anasti. Why did the Mishnah start by saying I seduced Chaim Yankel's daughter? Why not say I raped Chaim Yankel's daughter? So loma boy kamar. It's an.
Ernie, you're muted. You're muted.
So you haven't heard me?
And now
Just
I
at the
heard,
last
now
minute.
I hear. We
Just the
were
last
hearing
minute.
and then you went mute. I don't know why.
Listening anasti, the Mishnah says Why didn't the Mishnah say he admitted to raping? So lo maboy komer, it's in the structure of not only this, but this also. Lo maboy onasti lo kapagam lo. By saying she did not give in willingly, so you didn't create a pagam. And the mishalim boishes pagam al piatzmo. So there he still pays whatever boishes pagam there is. Aval pitititi to come a pogim law, but when you say I seduced her and then she went along, maybe maybe he doesn't have to pay that. That he does. But Mastis the Lokaitan, the Mishnah is not like the following time. The time Reb Shimon ben Yehuda Omer Mishum Reb Shimon. Af boishes supakam in a meshava piatzmo. You don't pay boishes supakam because lo kol amenish yivgam bito shaploini. He can't be poigim without aidim through his admission. Why should we believe him? So he doesn't pay because we don't believe him to be poigim somebody else. What if she doesn't care? She admits too. Should we say there that there's no boy pagam? So no, because maybe the father's not happy. What about nichel lavia? What if the father doesn't care? There might be a family member that's embarrassed. What if the family all admits they don't have any problem? There's some family member that's going to be embarrassed by it, so you can't. There's no tour for that. So we said a ganef who steals, he has to pay the principal, but he doesn't have to pay the knas, kefel or arba v'chamisha. So this is a classic analysis. Palga nizika. When a short tom, a shore that's never gored before, gores. So he has to pay chatzi nezek. Now, what's the status of that? It's not a knas. It's actually monetary payment. And therefore, if he admitted, according to Rav Papa, he'd have to pay. Ravuna Rav Yeshua paga nizga knasa. Chatzi nezek of a short time, you pay knas. And therefore, if he admitted, he'd be potter. Rav Papa Amar paga nizika mamoyne ksavar stab shvarim la b'ches kashimer kani. He holds that oxen are prone to gore if you don't watch them. Therefore, so therefore, even a short tam who's never shown a propensity, their nature is to gore. So therefore, Meikar Adini should pay the whole amount. It's the Torah that is having pity on him. The akati lo iyad Torah, because the shore had not gored 3 times. Because ksavar stam shor becheska shimer kami. No, that the nature of a shore is not to gore. You shouldn't pay anything. It's an accident. The Torah made him pay a knas so that he should watch his shore. Simin hizik mavihim is klal. Tnan. Hanizik ve'amazik b'tashlumin. Both the one who got damaged and the damager, they're both shayich in payment. So Bishma Mandor Paganizik Mamoina. The Mandor that said that Chatzi Nezik is Mamoin. Hainu de Shayich Nezik b'tashlumin. It makes sense then to say that even the one who was damaged is part and parcel of the tashlumim. Because really, he should have gotten paid the whole amount, according to the first shita. But since it's a tam, he's giving half of it back, so he participates in the tashlumim. But if the whole thing is a knas and he didn't have to hashta the lavdi deko shakil, tashlumin is what kind of tashlum is he involved in? Chas nevela is you value the shore when he was alive, and you value the shore as an nevela. The difference of that is the nezek. So when you pay chatzi nezek, you have to pay half of that amount. Now, if you establish the price by Amoda Bedin, now the nevela may depreciate more until they actually sell it. So you don't pay that to the nizik. So the nizik basically is a shutif in that. So that's the tashlumin. So pchas nevela tanina. But we don't need a chiddush for that because that's been learned already. Where is it learned? Tashlumin nezek. Melamed shabayla metaplim bin nevela. The Baal of the shore that did the damage, it's on his shoulders. It's on his shoulders until they sell it. The guy who got damaged, he deals with the nevela until you sell it. So if they valued it at $100 at the time of Amoda Bedin, and when he sold it, it's only $70, he bears the brunt of that. So that's why we said before that the nizik is part of the tashlum. So we learned it already. And for Tikbar, chada b'tam, chada b'mu'ed. I needed to be taught it by a short tam, and I needed to be taught it by a short nizik, short mu'ed. Utsricha. The tam animal has never done it before. So we're more makel on the din of the mazik, that the bailim have to deal with it. Aval mu'ed the yayad, but a mu'ed maybe the bailim, it's not the bailim, but it's the mazik that has to deal with it. Emalo. Listen, when you pay a mu'ed damage, you pay nezek shalem. So there you give the bailim, the owner of you give him to be metapel in nevela. Maybe emalo tzricha. So we have to be told in all cases that the bailim deal with the nevela. Toshma. Ma bein tam lemu'ed. What's the difference between a tam and a tam mishal chatzi nezek migufo? There's a limit to the value that he has to pay. You only pay out of the carcass of the dead animal. The one who did the shore mazik. So for example, if the shore that did the damage, very inexpensive, and it damaged an expensive shore, so the nizik loses out. Because the maximum you can pay is out of the goof of the animal that did the goring. Umuad mishlam nezek shalom and aliyah. A shore that already had gored 3 times, there the mazik has to pay from the best of his assets. And it doesn't say another difference. So we want to say this is a raya that chatzi nezek is not a knas. Or says no, because Tana of a shire. This Tana left something out, so it left that out too. Ma shire da'ai. What did he leave out that you can say he left this out? Shire chatzi koifer. That there's another difference. A mu'ad that killed a man, you have to pay koifer. But a tam doesn't pay chatzi koifer. So they left that out so you can leave this other stuff out. Imishum chatzi koifer lav shiurahu. That's not a shear, because Hamani Rabbi Yosef clearly chatzi koifer. He holds that a tam mishlam chatzi koifer. So according to Rabbi Yosef there's no difference between tam and a mu'ed. So that's not a riot to one of the mandamim that say it's chatzi nezek. Chatzi nezek is knas. Toshma. Hey, Mishori is ploini. My shore killed Chaim Yankel. or shor shel ploni. Or is it mishal piatzma? That's not knas. That's full judicial money payment. However, the Gemara wants maybe my lav betam, and that's a proof that chatzi nezek is not knas. Lo b'muad. Ava betamai. So what would be the din by a tam in a mishal piatzma because it's knas? Adatani seifa. But what does it say in the seifa? Avda shel ploni. Ain't a mishal piatzma because when you pay 30 selo and when your shore kills an eved, that's all knas. But why did you wait until the seifa of the Mishnah? Niflag v'nista b'didei. You could have made an argument right at the beginning. B'medran or b'muad. Aval tamin mishal piatzmo. So the Gemara says kulu b'muad kamairi. The whole Mishnah is muad. You can't make. There's no proof from there. Toshma. Ze'aklal kol mishalim yoser al mashihizik. Anytime that a mazik has to pay more than what he damaged, so that's always knas. Ain't a mishal piatzmo. Ha pachas b'mashihizik. So we're medayik. If he paid less than what he damaged, mishalim al piatzmo. So if he made less, so then if he pays less, he does have to pay. And chatzi nezek, because which is half, which is less, is mammon and not knas. Because he pays it, even though he admitted it. If you admit, you get off of knas. So don't be medayik lo tema ha pachos b'mashizik ele'ema ha kamashi. If you pay exactly what you damage, misham al piatzmo. Ava pachos mai, ain't a misham al piatzmo. So if it's less, he doesn't. What would you say? That you don't pay? Listening, ze'aklal kol she'ena misham kamashi ain't a misham al piatzmo. The mashma pachos u'mashma yoser. Tiyufta. So this seems to be a kasha on Rav Huna who says the chatzi nezek is knas. However, hilchasa palga niska knasa. The Chazal, even though there was a tiyufta, the maskon of the Gemara is that chatzi nezek is knas. Freit the Gemara tiyufta hilchasa. Understand? You brought me a proof that is a tiyufta, and yet you say halacha. Yeah, in Tayyim ayitutiv. Why is it a tiyufta mishum delokatani? Kemashi hizik, because the Mishnah didn't say Kemashi hizik. But you know what? Lopsikale. It's not it's not absolute that the Mishnah can learn like that. Because there are exceptions. Kiven de ikechatzi nezek tzroiros. When an animal walks on the ground and picks up and kicks stones, and even though he's walking a normal way, you pay chatzi nezek and not the full nezek. But there's a halach l'mashmisin that's not knas, it's mammon. It's like a regular nezek of regel. It's just you pay half of it. So since there are examples of mammon that is less than the full amount, so it didn't give you a blanket statement kamashi izik, because there are examples where you don't pay kamashi izik and you still would pay it even though you admitted it. So now you came to the conclusion that when you pay chatzi nezek as a tam, it's a knas. Hai kalba de achol imri, a dog that eats a sheep, v'shuna da'achar tanagoli ravi, or a cat that eats a large chicken. These are all abnormal. Anytime there's an abnormal action, it's a mishuna. If it never did it before, you pay chatzi nezek. And therefore, v'lo magvinin b'bavel. In the Rabbanim in Bavel didn't have smicha to the point where they could charge knas. Aval zutri, if they ate small chickens, orchu, that's not out of the usual situation. Magvinon, because that's mammon and not knas. However, eat tofas. If the guy who got damaged had grabbed money from the guy who damaged him, lo mafkin, we don't take it from him. Because technically he should have gotten paid. The Omar Agbulizim in Eretz Yisrael, and if, listen, in Eretz Yisrael, they did adjudicate knas. So if the guy that got damaged in Bavel would go to the Bezdin there and say, listen, set me up a date in Eretz Yisrael for Beis Din. Magvinin lay. And if the other guy, the mazik, v'ilo hazlo mashamtinan lay, we put him to cherem. And benkach ubenkach b'shamtinan lay. If the dog had done damage, you put him to cherem anyways. I mean, lay. We put you in the cherem. We say get rid of your dog. You know, Rav Nosson. I mean, actually, got to let him kill a Rav Tochmei. So, a person shouldn't raise an evil dog in his house. Or have a shaky ladder. You're gonna have blood on your hands. It's a very important parak we learned. Elunaris, very classic parak in Shas. Okay. Tomorrow.